Like I have female stalkers before, but it's usually after I fuck them. I never had a female stalker that I didn't fuck. And this is kind of new for me. So this is actually what happened. I did the face off between Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. I'm reading the cue cards. We talked about this last week, but I'm gonna fool my audience who don't know. I'm reading the cue cards. On the cue cards, it says the most watched women's fight ever, Katie Taylor against Amanda Serrano. I don't know what's the most watched female boxing match. Now, don't get me wrong, I love female boxing, but I never studied who was the most watched female boxing match. So I'm just reading what's on the card. After that, she goes on a...
The day Cameron lifted the microphone, something in the celebrity world shifted in a way people still talk about. It did not feel like a normal interview or another loud headline that would fade by the next morning. It felt like a moment where a curtain was pulled back and everyone in the audience, whether they wanted to or not, saw a side of fame that usually stays hidden. There were no soft introductions, no gentle questions, no slow build-up. Cameron went straight to the heart of it, speaking clearly and without hesitation. His voice was steady, but the words he chose carried the weight of something much bigger than a casual conversation. People watching from their phones, living rooms, and laptops leaned closer to their screens, sensing that what they were about to hear would not be easy to forget. For years, Claressa Shields had been seen as a symbol of strength. In the boxing world, she was known for her courage, her discipline, and her drive to keep pushing forward no matter how hard the fight became. Outside the ring, she carried herself with confidence and pride. Fans admired how she spoke in interviews, how she handled pressure, and how she stood up for herself in public spaces. To many people, Claressa was more than an athlete. She was a role model. Young fans looked up to her as proof that success comes from hard work and belief in yourself. Supporters praised her loyalty, her determination, and the way she seemed to stay grounded despite fame and attention. Her image felt solid, almost unbreakable. But according to Cameron, that picture was only part of the story. He claimed that behind the bright lights and polished interviews, there was another side of Claressa that most people never saw. A private world that did not match the strong, steady public image she showed on camera. He suggested that her story had been carefully shaped, like a painting where only certain colors were allowed to show while others were hidden behind the frame. The studio that day felt heavy with tension. The lights shone down, making every face in the room look sharp and clear. The cameras were rolling, capturing every movement, every pause, and every breath. The crew seemed unusually quiet, as if they also felt that something serious was about to unfold. Cameron did not rush. He did not raise his voice. He simply spoke, and the way he spoke made people listen. Then came the moment that changed everything. During the live broadcast, Cameron allegedly played a leaked video. The clip involved Claressa and her former fiancé, Tony Rich. There was no warning screen, no pause, no chance for viewers to prepare themselves. 1 second, people were watching a normal interview. The next, they were seeing something deeply personal that was never meant for public eyes. The room went silent. You could almost feel the stillness through the screen. Online, people stopped scrolling. Comments froze halfway through sentences. Messages were left unsent. It was as if time itself hesitated for a moment while everyone tried to understand what they were watching. For many fans, the image they had carried of Claressa for years suddenly felt different. The strong, untouchable champion now looked like a person caught in the middle of a storm she could not control. Some viewers felt shocked. Others felt uncomfortable. A few felt angry that something so private had been shared so publicly. According to Cameron, Claressa reacted with fury as soon as the clip aired. He claimed that phones started ringing almost immediately. Lawyers were contacted. Warnings were sent. Pressure came from different directions all at once. But Cameron did not stop. He said this was not just about a leaked video. He described it as something planned, something that had been building behind the scenes for a long time. He alleged that Claressa and Tony Rich had worked together, shaping events in a way that would benefit them while using someone else's trust. That someone, according to Cameron, was Papoose. He claimed that Papoose' loyalty, reputation, and public image had been used as part of a private game. He suggested that Papoose believed in Claressa, trusted her, and stood by her. not knowing what was happening behind closed doors. The camera then turned to Papoose. Fans were used to seeing him calm and steady. He had a reputation for keeping his emotions under control, even in stressful situations. But this time his face told a different story. His eyes looked heavy. His expression showed a mix of confusion, pain, and disbelief. People watching felt like they were witnessing a moment that was never meant to be shared with the world. It felt too real, too raw, too personal to be part of a public broadcast. Social media reacted instantly. Clips from the show spread across platforms within minutes. Memes appeared almost as fast as the video itself. Reaction videos popped up from creators who wanted to share their shock, their anger, or their sympathy. Some people stood by Claressa, saying no one deserves to have their private life exposed like that. Others believed Cameron, saying the public had a right to know the truth about people they support and admire. Many viewers were simply confused. They did not know who to trust. Then Remy Ma spoke. According to Cameron, her words spread across the internet like wildfire. She called the situation karma, suggesting that what was happening now was the result of past actions coming back around. Her statement was short, sharp, and powerful. Fans repeated it in comment sections, captions, and voiceovers. It became one of those lines people quote when they want to summarize an entire situation in a single sentence. Even 50 Cent joined the conversation. He reportedly posted a joke that quickly went viral. Some people laughed. Others felt it was insensitive. Either way, it added even more attention to a story that was already impossible to escape. At this point, the situation was no longer just about a leaked clip. It had turned into a full public drama. The next day, Claressa reportedly did a long interview of her own. She spoke directly about Cameron, accusing him of lying and twisting the story. She said he was trying to rewrite the past and paint her in a negative light. She claimed he did not truly understand what he was talking about. She also suggested that his actions came from personal issues and hidden motives. Cameron responded by saying he had only read what was given to him on his cards. He claimed he was not trying to change history. He said he simply shared what was already being discussed and brought it into the open. The back and forth quickly became a public exchange that played out online. Posts went up. Replies followed. Screenshots were shared. Fans clipped parts of each interview and compared them side by side. Some people supported Claressa. Others supported Cameron. Many switched sides as new information appeared. Papoose stayed mostly quiet, but his silence spoke loudly. Fans watched his social media closely. Every post, every like, and every comment became part of the story. People tried to read between the lines, searching for hidden meaning in even the smallest actions. Tony Rich became a mysterious figure in the middle of it all. Some people believed he was helping Claressa behind the scenes. Others believed he was guiding the situation for his own benefit. No one really knew what role he played, and that uncertainty only made people talk more. Online, fans began creating timelines. They looked at old interviews, past social media posts, and public appearances. They tried to connect moments that once seemed harmless, now searching for deeper meaning. A photo from months ago, a caption from a year back, a comment left under a post, all became pieces of a puzzle people were desperate to solve. Every detail mattered. Some fans believed the situation showed how carefully celebrity images are built. They said it proved that what people see on screens is often just a surface carefully polished to look perfect. Others felt uncomfortable. They said this was a private matter that should never have been shared publicly. They argued that fame does not take away someone's right to privacy. Then came another interview. Cameron returned and stood firm in his claims. He said this was not just a moment of drama or a one-time mistake. He described it as a long pattern of control, planning, and emotional games that had been happening over time. He spoke slowly, choosing his words carefully. His tone made people lean in and listen. Viewers replayed the clip, pausing and rewinding, trying to catch every detail. According to him, Claressa's actions were not random. He claimed they were part of a larger effort to shape how the public saw her and the people around her. He suggested that messages, posts, and even relationships were handled in a way that kept her image strong while hiding problems underneath. Fans were deeply divided. Some felt this was a brave attempt to expose the truth. Others felt it was a personal attack that crossed a line. Remy Ma's earlier words kept appearing in conversations. People quoted them like a line from a movie, using them to sum up the entire situation in one dramatic phrase. 50 Cent's comments continued to spread, adding humor for some and frustration for others. The story grew beyond celebrity news. It became a cultural moment. Podcasts discussed it in long episodes. YouTube channels broke it down frame by frame. Group chats buzzed with theories. Online forums filled with long posts where fans argued, debated, and tried to make sense of everything. People started asking bigger questions. How much of what we see from famous people is real? How much is planned by managers, publicists, and media teams? How much of a public image is carefully designed to guide how fans think and feel? Some fans said they now felt unsure about trusting any celebrity story. They believed this situation showed how easily people can be misled by carefully created images. Then came talk of legal action. According to reports, Claressa contacted lawyers. Statements were prepared. Plans were made to handle the situation publicly and privately. But by then, the story had already spread too far to control. Screenshots, clips, and reactions were everywhere. Even people who did not follow boxing or music knew the names involved. Cameron did another interview. This time, his tone was even heavier. He spoke about consequences. He talked about how fame can turn relationships into strategies and trust into tools. He suggested that when attention becomes valuable, people sometimes forget about the human cost of their actions. He described the situation as more than romance or betrayal. He framed it as a lesson about power, influence, and how public image can change how people treat each other. Papoose remained at the emotional center of the story. His heartbreak, whether he spoke about it or not, touched many viewers. People said they saw a man caught between love, loyalty, and the pressure of being watched by millions. Tony Rich continued to be a topic of debate. Some believed he was quietly guiding things from behind the scenes. Others believed he was simply caught in a situation that grew bigger than anyone expected. Claressa, once seen mainly as a champion in the ring, was now being discussed as a key figure in one of the most talked about celebrity controversies of the moment. The internet did what it always does. It turned the story into content. Reaction videos filled timelines. Dramatic readings of posts appeared on streams. Long breakdowns explained every detail. Some creators treated the situation seriously. Others turned it into jokes. Many mixed both, blending humor with analysis. But underneath all of it, there was a deeper feeling. People felt like they were watching real lives fall apart in public. Some fans said they felt uncomfortable. They questioned whether this level of exposure was fair. Others said that being famous means accepting public attention, even when it is painful. Cameron's final interviews framed the entire situation as a warning. He suggested that in the world of fame, nothing is simple. He said stories can be shaped, trust can be used, and people can become characters in narratives they never agreed to be part of. By this point, the story was no longer just about Claressa, Papoose, or Tony. It was about image.